Peace, y'all. Peace. I think I might have. This is probably the second time I'm recording this video because I have still been trying to find ways to process the message so it doesn't get kind of misconstrued. In the other recording I did, I was a little tired because I had a long day. But I'm gonna try this again. Rose-colored glasses. I think a lot of us like to see things with rose-colored glasses, meaning we want things to appear a certain way and we can't see beyond what we choose to appear. I am guilty of that myself. But if you're not careful with, that, you will end up regretting it in the long run because you wanted to ignore the signs, right? I think a lot of times we have this whole idea of what we want somebody to be. Or someone shows you in the very beginning something that they really aren't to lure you in, and you love and you embody those. You love those qualities in your body, and you love it. You want that person for what you saw originally, and they change. It's very narcissistic. That's what a lot of people do. They pretend to be everything you want to be because they mimic and they listen to the things that you want. They pay attention, and then they basically come back around with that attitude for a while until they get you in their good graces. Then once they get you in their good graces, they'll start to devalue you and treat you like you're less than, and then you'll start to feel worthless, and then they do everything in their power and even date the opposite of what you are. Like, they see you, they think you're so fine, they tell you all these things you are, and say for instance you're light skinned and short, then they'll end up saying, oh, well, I like someone who looks like Kelly Rowland. You're like, what? That's the complete opposite. Or they devalue you or degrade you, they go date the next dude, and the dude don't look, or the girl, for me, I'm a girl, they date another girl, and the girl don't look nothing like what you think that they would date, and they date like that to make you feel like you're not enough, or something like that. It'd be some crazy stuff. But what I will say is, when they come back around, they already know. They've already played the game long enough. They already know what it is you want and need in a relationship usually, and they do these things to keep you off kilter and to make you feel like you're not enough, so it makes you work 10 times harder to be enough, right? If you don't value yourself, that's what you'll do. Oh, you like, well, I'll do this and I'll do that, and I would never do this to you. I don't want to hurt you. I want to make sure you're happy. And what did I do? And I just want to get back in your good graces and back to where we used to be, because again, she did a really good job, or he did a really good job of being everything you wanted him to be, or her to be, because that's the game, right? So you're now starving of that affection, and that person has gone on to date a person who looks nothing like you, makes you feel like you weren't enough, makes you feel devalued, and then they come back around. And boy, when they come back around, they're gonna use that same tactic, because they have an agenda. They use the same tactic they did when they first met you, and they try to lure you back in for all those things that you want. So they're gonna be all them qualities until you lock down. Keywords lock down. Once you lock down, you're in trouble. Now you're dealing with a person that you're stuck with for life, that is going to treat you like pure grade shit. If you've ever been in a relationship with a master manipulator or a narcissistic individual, which you only want to see rose-colored glasses with because you only see what you saw at first, and made you feel so good, that blissful moment, or those blissful few months that you had, that's the only thing you see over the course of 2 or 3 years. You want to go back to level 2. I have been there, and it will get worse. But people choose to marry people like that, and then wonder why they die early. A sickness of just being tired, right? But I say all this to say, don't ever look at a person based off of how they were at one small period of your life. I think anyone who is dealing with somebody who wants to make a permanent situation needs to look at the overall picture of how they've been throughout, right? So if there's 3 months of greatness, but then there's 2 years of bullshit, stick with the 2 years of bullshit. 9 times out of 10, that's where you are, right? when they go back to that little 3 months of happiness, they show you those signs again. Don't believe the hype, because at the end of the day, they're using that to get something out of you. And you don't want to be that person who gets caught up. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because yeah, it ain't going to be good for you. I'll tell you right now, you will be in for a life full of hell. And it might even get worse. Because I've seen that too. I've been there, you know. Thank God there was no marriages, but they get progressively worse, man. And they will affect your mental health. So, yeah, those are the type of people that we break up with, get back with again. Break up with, get back in. Break up, because they're never solid. They're always going to show you the mask part, and then they're going to go back into it. They're like a sour patch, you know. First, when you put it in your mouth, it sours a bitch, and then once the sour sucks off, it's so sweet. But let's just flip that role. It's so sweet, and all of a sudden you keep sucking, and it gets sour, and you spit it out. Then you go back again, it's sweet again, and it gets sour again, and you spit it out. Until one day, they put about 10 of them bitches in your mouth, and it's zip tied together, and you can't spit it out again, and then you're stuck. So, you know, don't allow yourself to be in toxic relationships like that. People should be able to evolve, grow, and build. You know what I mean? And I mean cohesively build, to the point where you don't have to question the growth in a relationship. The relationship is beautiful the way it is, and you're thriving together, and you want these things for each other. So yeah, that's what you want for yourself. You don't want nobody who consistently keeps retreating back emotionally. I don't care how much money somebody got. Money is not the end all for a positive, beautiful relationship. You can build together and make money, but when you're dealing with somebody who is just overall just not mentally good for your health, you may want to question why you choose to stay in those situations. They don't treat you with respect. They don't honor you as a person. They treat you like shit. Men in general love women to treat y'all like shit. Y'all love the women to treat y'all like shit, but the ones who really want to grow with you, I really don't, for the most part. I feel like y'all don't want that sometimes. Unless you are in love with yourself. People who don't love themselves choose people who don't treat them right? So that's a lot of self-evaluation. Somebody could be quick to say, yeah, I want to work on myself. In reality, half the time y'all don't be working on yourself. Y'all be dealing with toxic people, and they keep you in toxic grounds because it's familiar, right? It's what you know. Sometimes God gives you every sign to turn up a new leaf and open up a new chapter in your life. And a lot of times people don't even want to go into that new chapter because they're so used to the toxicity. And it just causes your demise. You don't grow. You fester in that. You don't grow. You don't evolve in relationships like that. But people tend to always be back and forth, hot and cold, in and out, promising one day and not promising the other. Like, it's a game to that person. They don't really love you. They love themselves. And whatever agenda they got, they're going to use whatever they got. So, be careful. Stop wearing rose-colored glasses, and somebody don't want me to get this out because I'm having a hard time getting it out. Never allow somebody to play in your face, right? No one cares about the sweetness when all along you've been a horrible person. Character is that character. Stop looking at the little 2 seconds of time when the character was beautiful versus the years of heartache and things, because again, it didn't get you nowhere, and it's still not gonna get you nowhere. So yeah, that's my message. I just passed my message. Y'all have a good one. Bye.